Hi, group. My name's Denise. I'm a grateful alcoholic. My sobriety date is June 10th, 1988. My home group is Tuesday night beginners meeting in College Park, Maryland. My sponsor's name is Diane G. Um, May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Amen. Thank you
Amen.
so much, Cheryl. You know, I don't remember you. Why I don't know, because you made an impression on me in this few minutes we've been together. But thank you for remembering me because a lot of people wanted to forget me, and you know where I'm talking about. You know, you can come in but leave Denise outside because they knew I would steal everything just to get a drink. But what I wanted to read in the doctor's opinion, it says, to whom this may concern, and that's on page XXV. I have specialized in the treatment of alcoholism for many years. In late 1934, I attended a patient who, though he had been a competent businessman of good earning capacity, was an alcoholic of a type I had come to regard as hopeless. I can put my name right there, because everybody, including myself, said, "There's no hope, no hope." When I went to well, not prison, but when I went to jail for embezzling, working and getting welfare at the same time, you know, stealing from you and anybody else. And when I went to jail, I felt like I need to be in here because at least I won't drink, you know, to be locked up somewhere. And it talks about that in the big book, you know, to be locked up somewhere where you know you'll be safe. The insanity that it took me to in this program is amazing. I'm telling you, I don't know how I live. Yes, I do. Now I do. Something bigger than me held on to me until he could bring me to you guys. At 15, I took my first drink, and I'm telling you, all the worries in the world went away, melted away. And it wasn't nothing special. We were just sitting on the bed. We're teenagers, you know, and excuse me, y'all. Let me cut this thing off. We we're teenagers and we're just joking around, and we grew up on alcohol. You know, our parents drink when they were happy, drink when they were sad. They just drank. And one of my cousins said, "Let's go get a drink." I say, "Yeah." And I had just said maybe a year before, I don't want to be like my mother because she's a drunk. You know, we had to go peel her off the parking lot after she got so drunk she couldn't walk, and they call her the hood drunk. You know, and they call it the way they seen it. She stayed drunk. She was always fighting with the neighbors. But when she didn't drink, you thought she was the sweetest woman in the world. And that's how I became a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. As long as I was drinking and you was taking care of my, drinking, I was good with you. But the minute you stopped, I pushed you aside. You weren't friends of mine. You weren't buddies. You were hostages. You have to do what I want you to do in the way I want to feel. It was all about me. I didn't know then. I was selfish to the core, self centered, self pity. And self pity and jealous is two things I don't play with because both of them will make you cause homicide or suicide. So I try not to, when I get to feeling sorry for myself and I go to my sponsor, she say, I give you 5 minutes to feel sorry for yourself, and that's it. Because she know that that will do nothing but kill me. Having sympathy for me feeling sorry for myself will only kill me. I didn't know that when I came in here because self-pity was my best friend. Self-pity was a way to make you want to do for me, to manipulate you. So after I took that drink at 15, I was off to the races, basically. And then, I knew something was wrong because I couldn't stop drinking. I drank up jobs, drank up friends. Anybody healthy didn't want to be bothered with me. So I found my people, like I found my people in here. Somebody that want to drink all the time and don't work and don't give back to society. Those are the people I want to hang out with. I shot heroin and cocaine the last 15 years of my alcohol because alcohol stopped working. I needed something else. So I went to outside issues. And I would think, why can't I stop? I know what I'll do. I'll have a baby because you know us alcoholics, we come up with brilliant ideas. I'll have a baby and that baby will love me no matter what. After I had that baby, I looked down at it and say, what do I do now? See, I wanted something to fix the outside. My insides was dying or already dead. I wanted something to fix me and fix me on the outside. And after he turned 7 years old, I abandoned him, just like my mother abandoned us. I was like 13 years old when I found my mom. And I found her through standing at a bus stop. And the lady said, your mom lived with me. I can take you to your mother. Thank God she didn't move out of the state or the country. We'd never found her. And when we was introduced to my mother, she had already had another whole family, 5 more children. And when I felt happy because I had my mom again, I had 5 brothers and sisters, but on the other hand, I had resentments. She didn't love me. That's why she gave me away. And I know my son feel those things too. But hopefully as we trudge this road together, me and my son, that after I made that amends and not only made it, but walking it in front of him, he'll understand his mother has an illness. He don't understand the illness, but he know that something was wrong with his mom. Thank God for sports. That's the only reason my son didn't pick up a drink, because he loves sports more than he loved to eat. But that's another story. But he have the isms. I see him, but he don't. And the I know he has those issues of abandonment and how to treat women. I see it. He's not a bad guy, not at all. It's just that he had issues like I had when I was growing up. Um, After I abandoned my son, I can't. I said I was gonna stay there with him. I told my sponsor, I said I dropped my son off at my sister's. She said, "No, you didn't, Denise. You abandoned your child." And thank God for my sister for raising him. I went right back to where I said, if I went to the other side of Maryland, I'll be fine. After I abandoned him, I went back over to where I came from and say, give me another drink. Now, I don't just abandon the child I cared for 9 months. And I abandoned him like he was a piece of trash. And thank God that my family, my sister took care of him and raised him until at least I think he was 13 when I got him back. you know, because I would always even manipulate him. I would use him with my sister. If she get upset with me, wouldn't let me sleep in her house and do anything I wanted to do, I would grab my son and take him, put him in the car and throw a blanket over and throw him a McDonald's hamburger and make out with any man in the front seat would buy me a drink. I was doing that to hurt my sister because I knew she loved me and my son. And she told me the last time I went back to do that, same old insanity. She said, you take him out of here one more time, I'm going to call the police on you. And I left and I just didn't look back because I didn't want to go to jail, that's for sure. And I had nowhere to take my child. Went on for years doing the same thing. I got little jobs where I could, steal out of the cash register to get a drink and do, to kind of make ends meet. I went out there and I unleashed on this world as much hurt as I could. I hurt people that didn't even hurt me. I hurt people that didn't even know me, to the place where people say, you can't even come in my house. My older sister said, you can't even sleep on my floor. Now that's bad. She said, because I do not want to see you killing yourself. And I'm standing in the front of the house going, oh, my sister don't love me no more. She put me out. When I got to my ninth step, I went to her and I thanked her for putting me out. See, she brought my bottom up quicker than it would have been if she had kept letting me come in her house, get a little outfit, take a shower so I could smell okay, get a little, food, and off to the races I go again because I got restless, irritable, and discontent. I looked at them and said, why can't I be like my sister? She's laughing with the kids, reading to them. I mean, just enjoying her children and mine. And I'm sitting in the corner going, why can't I do that? And then I would raise my hand and say, I see you, sis, I'm going to the store. And I wouldn't come back for months. You know, just to the point where nobody would hire me. Because I had hair packed to my head, old dirty shirt on, pants and shoes with holes in it. Because now I'm walking the street. I'm with those they call in the big book the fallen woman. I sold fruit cocktail for a whole year on the corner just to get that drink. It had become my master. It had became everything that I wanted, my lover, my everything. This as long as I could get a drink. And then I ended up crawling in an abandoned building or abandoned car, anywhere I could pass out at, because we don't go to sleep. We pass out. And things happen to me in those streets that shouldn't happen to no woman, thrown from cars, and in that building, I ain't got to, we share in a general way. I don't have to tell you all the details, but any woman that happened to shouldn't happen. And I'm telling you, I would get up and brush myself off and say, give me a drink. I shouldn't have been here. It's my fault. See, I'm playing the victim because I don't know what else to do. Stand on the corner and look at people get up in the morning, go to work. I'm still standing there. Come back home with their children, go out for the evening, come back, get up, the same thing every day. And I'm looking, why can't I do that? Why can't I do like them? And I would just go in the liquor store and get me whatever I could get. And it all was right with the world. People would walk by me and I would hold my head down. It's nothing worse than seeing a drunk junkie on the street, especially a woman. I remember a guy walking by me and he looked at me, he said, you are disgusting. Drunk out of my head. And I didn't know what to do. I thought I was crazy. So I went to the psych ward after I cried out that drunk prayer that we all cry out, please help me. I don't want to live like this no more. And instantly, my God of my understanding, I know now, sent a man an angel in the form of a man. He rolled the window down and he said, honey, anytime there's somebody on the street like this, they're in trouble. Where do you want to go? And he took me to the psych ward. And I went up there and I told the lady, I said, I don't even have an appointment. I don't even have nothing. But I know if you send me back out there tonight, either I'm going to die or I'm going to kill somebody. Because I was one of those last gaspers that they talk about in the 12 and 12. Alcohol had beaten me beyond recognition. I remember walking down the street one day and thinking, I don't care about nobody. What a horrible feeling. I don't love nobody. I was just numb. Drank all day long, couldn't even get drunk. And the doctor told me when I got in here, said I could have drank myself to death. Alcohol poison. But see, I wanted to drink just not to think, just make the noise stop. Molested at 6, raped at 9, all those things internalized. But as long as I could dress the outside up, I didn't have to worry about the inside, see, because don't nobody know but me. Kept walking that street, and like I say, that night I yelled, please help me, got to the psych ward, and that was my second angel. She said, we don't have any beds right now, but I'm going to try to find you one. And the lady found me a bed. The administrator found me a bed that night, and I slept like a baby. You see, as long as I was shut down and away from everything and had a little clear thought, I felt safe. But as soon as I get back in that street, I'm in survival mode. Because by this time, I'm smelling like an outhouse, looking like death warmed over. I mean, literally stinking. And that's what that lady told me before I got in that bed that night. She said, take them stinking clothes off. Something I hope I never forget. It's just like she said it yesterday. Take them stinking clothes off. And I took them off and threw them in the trash. She threw me a nightgown for the front, one for the back, and a pair of brown paper shoes. The next day she said, you have to go to, it's mandatory that you go to an AA meeting. See, that's why I always, shout out loud, go to those service works. Because if you guys hadn't have been there that night in that hospital cafeteria, I wouldn't be here tonight. I know it with every fiber of my being, I would be dead. Because I had nowhere else to go. This was the last house on the left. Had you guys not invited me in, all I had to do was go lay down on the cemetery because I was done. And as I got ready to go down, I asked her, I said, am I going to go down there looking like this? She said, yes. I felt so humiliated. I'm thinking these people going to look at me and think I'm home, and I am homeless, because when I go to AA, I want to look like I'm, halfway. But I'm so glad it happened that way. So glad. When I got into the room, I heard y'all laughing and joking about your tragedies and, and just, those belly laughs, not that fake laugh when you're in the bar trying to get a drink. But you were laughing, and my sponsor said, Denise, that was a spiritual laugh. In the book of 132 in the big book, it says, why shouldn't we laugh? We have recovered from a seemingly hopeless, helpless state of mind and body and have been given the power to help others. Why shouldn't we laugh? We don't have to do that anymore. If we do it, it's because we want to do it, because you guys have laid the tools at our feet. And sometimes I have to ask God, give me the willingness to be willing to do whatever these people tell me to do within reason. I went back upstairs to my bed, and I could hear you guys and keep coming back, Denise. It's going to get better. And I'm thinking, you don't know my life. If you had my life, you drink too. What about me, 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 me? I ain't got nowhere to stay. What about me, 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 me? I'm going to leave in a day. I don't have nowhere to stay. What about me? And you guys kept telling me, we're going to love you, Denise, until you're able to love us back. And that's what I did. I stayed in here. I did anything you guys said. If you said cut off all your hair and dance in the middle of the street, I would have did it. I was so desperate. So desperate, because I didn't want to go back to that hell I had left. But I didn't know what else to do. You guys say you'll have a better life. And I'm like, what is a better life? I never had a better life. I grew up with 8 brothers and sisters. Half the time we didn't have nothing to eat, lights cut off. So what is a better life? That's the only life I knew. And then you guys just said, keep coming back, Denise, and don't drink. Get a sponsor, get a home group. Somebody can hold you responsible, hold you accountable, and guide you. And you can stay grounded. Not that it'll keep me sober, because meetings this is just for me. Meetings don't keep me sober. It helps me to remember, to celebrate, to fellowship. The only thing that keeps me sober is the God of my understanding. And I used to run around here like a lot of, I hear, okay, I got a higher power, but it was up here. I didn't have the highest power, because any little shiny object was higher than the God I walked around talking about I had. But today I have the highest power that comes before anybody, even my only child. If I don't put God before my son or any of you, then I am doomed to drink again. Because the only thing that can conquer this is an act of providence. This is you guys. This is the God of my understanding. This ain't, all I did was been willing to be willing. The rest of it belongs to you. And I need to remember that. I remember I went to my sponsor and I was telling her something. She said, I want you to get in a beginner's meeting and stay there, because you don't forgot how bad the pain is, Denise. And I've been in a beginner's meeting for over 20 years now, and I'm loving every minute of it. Because when those newcomers come in, they remind me who I am. They remind me who I can go back to being. And I'm able to guide them. They're able to share their broken hearts. See, it's brokenness, but it's beauty in it. Because I can picture my higher power saying, you're broken now, Denise. I can use you. As long as I was big and bad enough to do what I wanted to do, he backed off. Because my God don't dwell in mess. That's the God of my understanding. He said, you seek me and I'll give you the desires of your heart. You seek me and I'll give you what you need. But seek me first. Seek the kingdom of heaven first. And all these things will be added unto you. And he did not lie to me. I've lived in this apartment for 23 years. I never lived anywhere for 23 minutes. I would live long enough for the first month's rent, and then my stuff would be on the sidewalk. Because I thought you get your paycheck, you go get your buddies and get drunk. But when you're there getting ready to get set out, ain't where your buddies now. And it's not the material things that I've accomplished since I've been in here. It's the spiritual things that you guys have given me. Long before that God that I always had inside of me, the 12 and 12 says, every man, woman, boy, and girl has a fundamental idea who God is. I just had to have an awakening through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. And each step I took, it awakened more and more. And then I keep improving that conscious contact with the God of my understanding. Every day I pray and meditate and ask God, remind me who you are. Because sometimes we forget who he is. I take my will back. No, I don't take it back. I just do what I want to do. Because once I turn my will over to God, I can't take it back. I can go off and do rogue stuff, but he's not going to leave me. He carries me. Every day he carries me through my mistakes, through my flaws. On those days when I don't want to do this program, I don't want to come in here and look at y'all. I don't want like a 2-year-old. He whispers in my ear and say, I'm reminding you who I am, Denise. That you can do anything. Just don't pick up a drink. Go talk to your sponsor. Go talk to somebody in your network. Turn your thoughts to something else. And I do that, and all is well. But I got to keep doing that over and over. I got to work. I love working these steps over and over. I really do. Because each time I go through them every year, I learn more about me. I learn more about you. I learn more about people, my brothers, my sisters, people that are unlovable. I learn to love them too. Because people loved me when I wasn't lovable. But you guys kept on holding on to me. And you never judged me. You never said, oh, you're going to lose. You're going to get drunk anyway. So go. No. You nurtured me. You put me back on that beam because 31 years of sobriety, I was going to walk away from you guys because I wasn't stinking no more. Had a little car, a little money in the bank. I don't need y'all no more. The way I said I didn't need you, I stopped most of my meetings. I went from 7 meetings a week down to 2. I'll pray tomorrow. Never mind working with nobody. Trying to think of a way I can get rid of my sponsees. Trying to trump up a lie. Can't do that. I can't live without you guys. I cannot get another 24 hours without you. That's why Mr. Curtis sends me inspiration every day. That's why Linda sends me emojis every day and prayers. Because they know I need to make that spiritual connection in order to stay here. Because once I give you up, I give up the God of my understanding, because you are the God of my understanding. No matter what, I just don't pick up. I go to the throne, then I go to the phone. It works. I'm telling you, it works. And I met my sponsor in that meeting and asked her to be my sponsor. I saw something in that lady that I wanted, but I didn't know what it was. All I knew, she was serene, quiet. She would share when people called on her. And I kept watching her every day. I would go back there, I would watch her. And when I got ready to get out of treatment, I asked her to be my sponsor. And she said, I'll be honored, Denise. Are you ready to learn about a God of my understanding? She didn't say nothing about no steps or nothing at that point. She just said, are you willing to learn of this God of my understanding? And I said, yeah, I'm ready. 10 years into this program, I played with it. I loved your dances, your conferences, fellowshipping, but I was living off of your sobriety. I was think as long as I hang up against the old timers long enough, I'll get it. It don't work like that. I have to do the work. The promises tell me if I do the work, these things will materialize. We got together, we did the steps. The first step, I took that. I knew that because look how I come in here. Look where I went to the gates of insanity. That second step, I asked God to give me what he thinks I need because he's not waiting on me. I hear you, timekeeper. He's not waiting on me to give him anything. He's waiting to give it to me. And I have to remember that every day because he don't want what I'm going to give him. He's waiting on me to receive what he's going to give me. My life has gotten so much better. The last 5 years, oh my goodness, I could talk all night about that because the fellowship has grown up around me. A fellowship that I've craved, that I looked down in a bottle to get. I found it in a coffee pot. So I want to thank you, Cheryl, for all that you do for this program, for giving what was so freely given to you. My name is Denise. I'm a grateful alcoholic.
It's great.